So we all know what New Year's resolutions are, but personally I think it's better to start working on your resolutions before the new year begins. So today I want to talk about healthy habits to start and things to do before 2023. So we're already in a better place when the ball drops and we can make it a better year. If you want to get mathy for a second, New Year's resolutions are really cute, but only 9 to 12% of Americans actually stick to them throughout the entire year. So if you start trying to find those habits, those goals, and start working on them before the new year actually begins, then you'll be much more successful in January, and that first day of 2023 will not be stressful and overwhelming as you try to check off every box of all these new resolutions you're trying to start. So that can start with scheduling appointments in advance. This can be doctors, dentist, eye doctor appointments that you just want to get out of the way and scheduled, at least for the first quarter or half of the year. It definitely will help me feel much more centered if that's already out of the way. It's kind of a chore to set up, but once it's done, it makes you feel so great. This could also be any exams that you're taking if you're in school or university. I have a lot of exams towards the end of spring next year, so I just want to make sure that my calendar is all fleshed out and prepared for that, because it's going to be a stressful season. I don't want to add any extra stress if it's not already pre-planned out. This can also mean projects. So if one of your New Year's goals is to start a new project for work, for yourself, just personally, scheduling out check-in dates or meeting dates, anything like that in advance can also help you manage your time better as you're working towards getting those projects finished. If you know anything about me and you've been subscribed to the channel for a while, you know that I'm a huge bullet journaler, so I appreciate planning things in advance, and it just takes such a stress off my shoulders, and now that I have control over what's happening. So if you are like me, this step is essential for having a good start to the year. Speaking of bullet journaling, I of course have that side of journaling, but I also recently have started doing other types of journaling, like written journaling. Now I know the TikTok girlies have already talked about, meditation journals, and it's good for your health, and I get it, okay? But they say it because it's true. Whether it's a gratitude journal, meditation journal, a diary, something that you can just write your thoughts down, I think is super healthy habit to get into, and one that I'm definitely trying to start as a more consistent thing as I go into next year. Personally, for me, I've started actually dream journaling. So every time I have a weird dream, which I have actually quite frequently, it's such a problem. I hate dreaming so much. They're just stressful. So I have a journal where I write them down so that I can come back later and look back on them, A, and B, just to get it out of my head and onto paper. It is very relaxing, very therapeutic, and also good for mental health, just to get things out of your brain. If you want to do a daily gratitude journal, write 3 things you're thankful for. That's of course super healthy. You can also do just a what's on my mind journal. There's all over the internet different prompts that you can answer, and it's just a nice 5-10 minutes of chill time that you can incorporate into your day if that's something you'd be interested in. It's something that I'm trying to do for the next year for sure. I've said it before and I will say it again and again and again, but cleaning your environment helps you become a much more mentally organized and clean person. I cannot tell you how good it feels to have a mess in my room and my desk and just get it all tidied up, cleaned up, and all of a sudden I feel like a fresh new me and I'm ready for a new start. So if that closet has been overwhelmingly dirty and there's all sorts of random clothes that you never wear, maybe try doing a little closet clean out sometime before the new year begins. Donate your clothes, put them on Depop, give them to your friends. You can also dig deep in your pantry and see what kind of disgusting old food is back there that's just taking up space that you could clean out. You could wipe the blinds for the first time in a decade and a half. I don't know, but end of the year cleaning to prep for a new year is something that's not a new thing to anyone, but satisfying, and I am such a cleaner. So this is so exciting for me, but it's something that I'm definitely going to be getting into in the next couple months. That way, whenever 2023 starts, I'll just have a fresher, cleaner environment ready for all sorts of great things in the new year. And also, if a big cleaning session is not your thing, 10-minute tidies at the end of every day. Just clean up your workspace, clean up your bedroom, clean up your kitchen. Is also a great habit to get into. That way, you're just continually keeping your space clean and not just doing one mass clean and then letting dirt pile up for the next however many months it is until you feel in the mood to clean again. So 10-minute tidies are definitely fantastic. So I have amazing parents who cook for me. Thank you guys. I love you guys. But whenever I move out of the house next year, I'm definitely going to have to prioritize this, and that is meal planning. So it's a goal in our house to only eat out 1 to twice a week. And so we're always trying to make healthy foods and homemade meals for the other 5 to 6 days. And so especially if you live alone, meal prepping is something that can be very helpful in making sure that you are a healthy eater and just consistently getting into the good habits of making yourself food. This could be meal prepping on a Sunday. So you go grocery shopping chopping, you chop up your vegetables, you keep them in the fridge. You can also make a couple meals and then just like keep leftovers for the next couple days. Obviously, I'm pretty sure we all know what meal prepping is. It's just a good reminder here that it is a good habit to get into. And as we all know, a common resolution is lose weight, eat healthier. So if that's something that you're looking into, then meal prepping is a fantastic way to be along that journey in your New Year's resolution. Speaking of, on the same vein, working out is a resolution I think we all have and we all fail every year. And trust me, I know because I do it too, so don't worry. The only thing that's keeping me fit right now is color guard, but once I graduate next May, I'm not gonna have that anymore to keep me in shape, so I'm definitely gonna have to remember this. In fact, whenever I move out, I'm gonna have to look back at this video and remind myself all the fantastic plans I had for myself when I move out that I probably will not be sticking to. But anyways, I personally am not an exercise person, like to go and do like a 5-mile run or do like a 3:30 on the treadmill. If you're that person, good for you, more power to you, okay? But that is just a lot of stress, a lot of work. And I just think it's important to move your body every day, whether that's a walk, dancing, whether that's doing Pilates. And that's just like a more simple way to just like figure out the exercise thing. It's just like moving your body every day. You can also be a dedicated person, you know, work out 3 times a week and keep to that schedule if that's something that you would want to do. That's perfect, amazing for you. Another thing is you could sign up for a gym membership if you like working out in the gym. Get that done before the new year starts. That way you're already in the pattern of using the gym. That way, instead of starting on January 1st and then 2 weeks later you're done with it, but by starting in November, December, you're already in the mood of going to the gym, that the new year is just continuing that pattern and you're gonna stick to your goals. Now listen, I am very sorry to you. If you say that you're not a reader, you're lying to yourself. Reading is fantastic. And okay, if you're not a sit down and read a novel, 50 books a year like me, because that is my cup of tea. I literally have reading goals set for myself to read a certain amount of books every year, which is a little absurd. But if you're not that kind of person, I get it, that's fine, you do you. But I still think that reading every day is super, super important. It's just a good habit to get into, to get your mind awake, especially in the morning. I always try to read instead of getting on my phone if I have extra time in the morning, and same thing before I go right to bed. And in general, of course, it does not mean that I'm trying to get you to read my favorite fiction romances or whatever. You can read any type of genre you want. You could read a newsletter if that's something you'd be interested in. Personally, I'm subscribed to Morning Brew, which is an actual newsletter, like not like a blog, but like daily news, which is not something I like to read right when I wake up, but it's definitely good to get my brain moving, be updated about modern politics, stuff like that. If you really are against the whole reading and sitting down for like 5-10 minutes and just absorbing some stuff, then you can also think about crossword puzzles, maybe mind games, stuff like that. My friend Brooke has been obsessed with crossword puzzles recently, and she's kind of gotten me hooked on it. And I know Wordle went viral, but all those different like little games that like can get you brain working early in the morning is a fantastic habit to get into and will just make you a healthier person. So like I mentioned, I try my hardest to be reading and not on my phone. But unfortunately, with Spotify in the background, recording videos like this, posting online, texting people, my screen time is averaging 5 to 6 hours a day. Which, okay, some of you might be looking at me and you're like, oh my gosh, she is such a Gen Z, get off her phone. Some of you might be looking at me like she is a role model, I have 12 hours a day. I don't know where on the spectrum you are, but for me, this is definitely a number I would like to lower a little bit because I have to give myself some grace. I do always listen to YouTube in the background. Texting my friend is not a bad thing, but it's still important to minimize screen time if you can. And especially if this is a goal for the new year, the sooner as you can start it towards November, December, the better it's gonna be when 2023 actually starts. So one tip I have for this is don't go to bed in the same room as your phone. Personally, my phone is always in a different room. That way, whenever I wake up, I have an alarm clock, like a literal clock that wakes me up and not my phone. I am not on text, I'm not on YouTube. Instead, I'm usually either reading or just like getting into the shower or something. I also love the do not disturb mode. And if you have an iPhone too, I don't know if they have this on Android, but there's like the focus modes that you can do to manage your notifications. And this is something that I adore. So if you're trying to minimize your screen time or like minimize notifications so you're not on your phone so much, it's definitely something that you can look into. On the other side of the coin from managing screen time, another good habit you can get into, or at least task that you could do before the new year, is organize your digital life. Now, I have an entire video about this where I completely decluttered my phone a couple months ago, I think, so I will link it down in the description box below. So go check that out after you watch this video. But in the meantime, I will just say that clearing out your digital clutter is just incredibly time consuming, incredibly boring. But I promise you, taking a day or two just to like move things into a hard drive or clear out your recently deleted or manage your iCloud storage, which is something that I definitely need to do right now. I'm running out of storage, is a problem. Going through your junk emails, deleting deleting those random GarageBand recordings that you don't even know when they were made. Stuff like that. It's incredibly stress relieving. And I wish I had the time right now to go do it because I feel like I would be in so much more of a better mental state if my digital life was cleared up as well. On my computer, I mean, my phone is fine. But again, I have an entire video on this, so go check that out if you're interested in more about digital decluttering. Okay, so one thing I love doing before the year starts is starting a new hobby. And little tangent, but a lot of my friends always complain and they're like, I'm so bored laying on my bed at home watching movies. And like, how are you not bored? And I'm like, because I'm constantly working on YouTube, reading, drawing, bullet journaling, editing, doing schoolwork, doing BSF work. Like the list goes on and on and on and on and on of things that I'm constantly doing, which could be stressful, but half the things in there like drawing, reading, bullet journaling, those are hobbies and I'm constantly doing them and I'm constantly not bored. So like you see a little correlation here, right? I think it's a fantastic idea to start a new hobby before the new year begins. This could be crocheting. Be like one of those TikTok girlies who crochets half their wardrobe. That would be so cute. Get back into roller skating that you used to do a couple years ago and you've lost the habit of. You can teach yourself sign language. It's actually something that I would love to learn. I know the alphabet, but that's it. So that's something I would love to spend more time on if I had any extra time. And it doesn't have to be like a huge process like signing up for Babbel and work every single day, but like, you know, have some free time, 30 minutes at night. Instead of watching Netflix or doing anything like that, you can try a new hobby, learn a new skill. I don't know, it just sounds like such a fun thing to do. And trust me, I know that it is exhilarating to have a new obsession. So if you're feeling a little stagnant in life, a little bored, maybe try looking up different new skills you could learn, teach yourself. Okay, so this is kind of less of a habit, more just something to do before 2023, but plan more quality time with friends and family. Listen, y'all, it is the holiday season. If you're in America, Thanksgiving is coming up. If you celebrate Christmas, that's obviously coming up, and New Year's is coming up. If you don't celebrate any of those, whatever you celebrate, if you celebrate anything, I know a lot of holidays are coming up in the next couple months, and it's the end of the year. We've worked so hard. It's time to take a little break, take a day off of work, and I don't know, hang out with your friends. Go grab lunch, plan a get together, maybe just like FaceTime someone, maybe ask them what they want for Christmas, which is something that I definitely need to start planning out. But I know it's super hard to kind of incorporate that time into your daily schedule, especially if you're super busy like me. But I feel like if there's ever a time of year to focus on that, it's kind of now at the end of the year. And especially if you like rekindle an old friendship maybe, and then next year you guys can hang out more. Like it just sounds like a great series of events. So if there's been someone you've been meaning to text or hang out with, then maybe plan something in the next couple weeks when you have the holiday season coming up. And yeah, that could be really fun and exciting. And on the same token, me time is also so important. So plan out some quality time for yourself. It's literally the end of the year. You've made it through like almost 12 months of work and stress and hectic, busy life. And now it is the time to just take a little break and appreciate yourself. So treat yourself to, I don't know, a coffee, a bubble bath, an Xbox, I don't know. But it's like spend quality time just making sure that you are in a good place before the new year begins. Speaking of, this can also be self-reflection. So looking back at what you've accomplished over the year, trials and tribulations, so to speak, pat yourself on the back for the good things that you've done, and also just looking at how to learn from the mistakes that have happened. I personally want to make an entire video about reflecting on the past year. So if that video is out, I will have it here on the screen for you to go check out. So I'm wishing you guys a fantastic last few months of 2023, and I will see you over in this video. Toodles!